Do you want to learn how to 3-star a Town Hall 10 base in just over 1 minute? Stay tuned, as in today's Clash of Clans video, we are teaching you how to use the best new attack strategy, the DragBat. What is going on, guys? Judo Sloth here, and welcome to today's Clash of Clans video, the Bat Spell. You guys have seen it, the DragBat attack strategy is taking over Clash of Clans. It has broke the game. Town Hall 10, 11 and 12. But Town Hall 10 is really where it shines, so we are going to teach you how to use it in this attack strategy guide. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for all of my content and make sure to leave a like if you enjoy this one. Flying into the first attack, the dragons are already destroying the base. Now, we are going to be going through these attacks relatively quickly. That is one thing that you will notice. It is an incredibly fast attack strategy. So what you want is a whole bulk of dragons. The Stone Slammer works very well, but it is not a necessity. It's definitely the best siege machine to use it with this strategy, but the Battle Blimp will equally work as well, and some Lava Hounds are often valuable, but again, not a necessity. The main focus is the Bat Spell, having a huge clump of them. You also need some rage spells and potentially a freeze spell. So what you will typically see is around about the region of 6 to even up to 9 bat spells, all depending on what you're trying to achieve. But that is what we're going to be teaching you in this video. Now, the dragons, you guys know that they need to be funneled. So that is a key component that I want you guys to pick up from this video, and in simple terms, the most basic way of doing it, which we will now get onto in this second attack, I know the first one's been going on in the background, is to use your king on one side of the base and your queen on the other. You guys already know that. The miners, it is the primary way to funnel miners, especially at Town Hall 10. It is exactly the same with the DragBat. There are other methods, and we will show you that, but the king on one side, the queen on the other is the most simplistic method. However, it's not the only way. You have to think about the base per se, and you basically need to get your dragons into the base. So on this one, we use a baby dragon up on this top side to basically take out some of the trash buildings here, and because there's a lot of them down the bottom here and we want to be able to reach these defenses as well, we have the king followed by the queen. Now, it doesn't have to be a baby dragon either. You can use one of your regular dragons, but the idea being that you funnel your dragons into the base. So you can see how the king and queen have taken out the buildings at the bottom. That means the dragons will now move through the base in a nice fashion. Exactly at the top here, we've broke the ring here from this building. The dragons are funneled into the base and onto the defenses. Now, your balloons are basically sprinkled in alongside your dragons. They will target the defenses, meaning they will get ahead of the dragons and set off any of the air bombs. Now, what about the bat spells? You want to save that until you get to an area that you want to take out. So in this one, we are coming right at the back end of the base. Now, the bat spells target defenses, and they will shred them. As you can see here, the rage spell is very helpful to boost them up and get them taking out them defenses fast. Air defense, single target infernos are the two key defenses you want to target. If you're higher up, if you're a Town Hall 11 for example, the Eagle Artillery might be factored in there as well, but we're focusing on Town Hall 10 for this one. Now, the idea being you're continuing to funnel the dragons towards a particular area of the base, but also you're taking out areas of the base which are particularly vulnerable. So in the top area of the base, you might have noticed there was 2 wizard towers. Now, amazingly, the bat spell still took them out. However, you probably don't want to target splash damages if you can help it. So you wouldn't want to target a multi-inferno or a wizard tower without having the freeze spell in your back pocket. That's exactly what we're going to demonstrate you in this attack by DJ. Now again, DJ is using the king and queen on one side of the base, unlike the most simple version that I said, in terms of having the king on one side and the queen on the other. We will show you an example of that after this, but you can basically create the funnel however you want, guys. It really doesn't matter. The important aspect of the strategy is getting the funnel for the dragons to go in and onto the defenses. All of this makes kind of common sense to a lot of you guys. Get that funnel though for the dragons. Think about where you're attacking. Clearly on this base you can see the sweepers pointing in the opposite direction. It's common sense. Come in behind them sweepers. As the dragons come forward, the rage spell is led into the dragons. So you're not popping it straight on top of the dragons. The dragons are moving into the rage spell, if that makes sense. Now comes the bat spells, right as they can protect the dragons. The idea being you can pop them right in front of the dragons as they are about to get to an area. So let's say, for example, the dragons are literally just about to come in range of an air defense. That's when you pop the bat spell, and you're basically carrying DPS through the bats to protect your dragons. Now the stone slammer can be merged in with your dragons, just kind of moving through as a balloon, or as we did in this example, you can target specific defenses. So you might often bring it in from the side in order to target an air defense. Maybe there's a separate section of the base with a couple of defenses that you could take out with the stone slammer. That might help to funnel your dragons. The key is controlling them dragons and the pathing of them. They're very strong. They're not going to fail in terms of time as long as you can keep them channeled where you want, and basically the bat spells will take out the areas of the base that are troublesome in terms of inferno towers and air defense. That's your main target. But again, when you use the bat spells in numbers, because they target the defenses, you can carve out sections of the base in order to then sweep through with the dragons, because it's kind of like going back to Town Hall 8. If you are a Town Hall 8 and you take out the air defense, or Town Hall 7, whatever, you get the idea. The dragons sweep the base. It's actually the same principle here at Town Hall 10. It really doesn't matter. You can get the job done. We have two more attacks to show you. This one, do not blink. This one gets taken down pretty quick, as does the next one. Simple. Watch it, guys. King on one side. He is going to create a funnel here. Basically takes down a lot of these defenses, can get to the archer tower. Why do we use the queen on the other? The queen has range. She can actually reach wizard tower, archer tower, cannon, air defense, valuable defenses to get down. Had we have put the king down in this area, the king couldn't reach them defenses, whereas he can get phenomenal value up the top here. So again, just think about the side that you're putting your king and queen on. What value can they get? And you should be able to work out a preferred side. Dragons then are funneled onto the defenses. They can sweep through, and again, once they get to that area, I mean, the bat spells have done it. They've absolutely crushed the base. We do use a free spell very nicely at the end, again, where that wizard tower is. The bat spell, they can take out a wizard tower, but that's where they're most vulnerable. If you can get that amount of bats onto a Tesla, an archer tower, an air defense, it stands no chance. The one thing to remember is that the bat spells will not attack the queen, but you can use the bats to distract the queen. So if a dragon is coming through, you know that a dragon or a couple of dragons will clump onto that queen and they will wipe her out. No problem. Distract it with the bats. The bats will be able to keep her occupied. Yes, you lose one or two, but your dragons are protected, and that is the main focus here. Protect the dragons. Use the bat spell to take down them areas of the base that are difficult. You can do that first in order to carve a path. However, you want to try and do it alongside the dragons in order to be most beneficial. So again, king on one side, queen on the other. We actually actually used a couple of baby dragons to help in this one. Again, you can do that if you wish. You don't have to use lava hounds, but some people prefer to put a lava hound in. What I would say is if you're going to be putting a lava hound to an air defense where there's a single inferno, watch out. It's obviously going to shred the lava hound. The bat spell comes in on the single inferno. Yes, the air defense are troublesome. I mean, they got taken down pretty quickly as well, guys, but the single inferno ramping up onto the dragons is the main thing. So if you can take a single inferno down, do it. Watch the bats just going up to that top Tesla down in a flash. That base was clearly the best area to put the bat spells. They shredded the single inferno, moved outwards to the air defense, and they moved pretty quick with that rage spell as well. Remember, if it's a multi-inferno, there's a lot of them going around now to try and defend against this. Use the freeze spell in order to help out. Let's very quickly, before we finish off, just show you an instant replay of that bat spell. Watch when they come in, guys. It is insane. Let's go half-time speed. The beautiful new part of Clash of Clans. There is the rage spell. The single inferno is onto the balloons, but it's too late. As the bat spells come in, it's just out of range of the dragons. Look, they're just about to get in that range. That's when the bat spells are deployed, and they spread out, taking every defense in that area. There's no splash damage there in order to do them any harm. If there was, you would be thinking about using a freeze spell, and just look at how quickly they go from defense to defense, because they are super strong. If you can keep them away from the splash damage specifically, they tear apart bases. That wraps it up for this one, guys. I hope you have found it helpful. Please leave any other tips down below, but until next time, peace out.